we don't have to suddenly panic that we're not digesting things properly, we're not absorbing things properly. And is that also the case with GLP-1s? There's nothing in the injections that stop us from absorbing foods and nutrients in the way we should.
Not that we know of. GLP-1s are pretty much ineffective at changing your digestion and your assimilation. What they mainly change is the signals, the feedback, if you like,
Yeah.
that drives your food intake and the metabolic regulation. Whereas the surgery, because it affects more than just GLP, it's like a whole orchestra of hormones that change. It's a much more profound thing. People say, yeah, it's really working. So people who've had GLP-1s who then have an injection go,
Mm.
wow, this is, this is different. It is actually much more effective than when I was on the GLP-1s.
Oh, that's brilliant. Now, I know also that another medication that can affect weight or make you put on weight is contraceptive pills. And obviously, they're very hormonal based. Are they also easy to deal with in terms of stopping the obese? What's the word you
The
used?
obesogenic
Obesogenic.
effect.
Yeah.
The short answer is no, it's not as easy because um, for many of the oral contraceptive pills, the progesterones in it cause fluid retention, not necessarily weight gain.
Ah.
Estrogen causes a bit of fat gain. So the estrogen causes a bit of fat gain, but it's the progesterone that will cause fluid retention, um, and a bit of fat gain as it happens. And it's that's the problem. So people who have the depot or the implant um, contraceptive really struggle with weight loss. It just big, and I've seen this a number of times. People have had weight loss surgery, they're doing fine, and all of a sudden it stops and it goes into reverse, and we're going, oh my god, what's happened? Tell us what's changed. What's your diet change? Nothing, nothing, nothing. I don't know what's wrong, but I had a contraceptive implant, last month, and
Ah.
it went,
Mm.
there it is.
Ah.
And it's the hormone, and there's not a lot that you can do about that because it is a fundamental hormone for the female body and its workings. So we advise now really against having certainly the depot or the hormone implant as a contraceptive. If possible, avoid going on the oral contraceptive pill and rely on barrier methods or an IUCD. Even
Mm.
in people who've not had a family, an IUCD is preferable.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really good to know because these are things that people do worry about. Women in particular, they worry about certain things that we do that could actually make us gain weight when we're desperately trying to lose it, and
Yeah.
that's a double whammy. Um, and with women in particular, what about PCOS? Now, that's polycystic ovarian syndrome for people that are not aware of it, where the ovaries get covered in a number of or a lot of cysts. That also is said to cause weight gain,
Oh, it does. Yeah, absolutely.
apart from all the other issues it causes, like, hair where you don't want it, hirsutism.
So
Uh,
do you want my 101 on
yeah,
PCOS?
go on then. Let's have the 101.
Polycystic ovarian syndrome is, I think, probably one of the worst named illnesses, if indeed it is an illness, that we've come across in modern medicine. It was described because the most obvious sign at the time was lots of cysts on the ovaries. So the gynecologist said, oh, polycystic ovaries there. It's we can spot them on an ultrasound. There they are. And we know that there is a problem with your fertility. So people with polycystic ovarian syndrome have struggled with fertility.
Yeah.
Someone then said, actually, they also struggle with their weight and they struggle with excess hair in odd places, like facial hair, like arm hair. And there are a number of things that all go together with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Actually, what it is, if in basic terms, is it's a subtype of human. So there are a subtype of humans who have ginger hair. Okay, it's just a type of human who happens to have ginger hair. There are a type of human that have polycystic ovaries. But going with that difference, they're normal humans, they live normal lives, there's nothing wrong with them as such, other than their endocrine system isn't working like we expect it to. So that if you give them high carbohydrate foods, they put on weight. It seems that their method of dealing with carbohydrates is not the same as other people's. They will preferentially turn it into fat before they then burn that fat off. Whereas if I eat a lot of carbohydrates, my body will burn it off, and only if there's a ton of it will it make fat. For someone with polycystic ovarian syndrome, it seems that they will preferentially turn it into fat first before they burn it off. You ask anyone with polycystic ovaries, they go, yeah, carbs. I only have to look at a cake and I put weight on.
Yeah.
So they are more prone to metabolic syndrome. And, you know, it is just a subtype, slightly different type of human. And it's genetic. It's not something you can change or treat to make the polycystic type of person get better or go away. What you can do is work with it, and that is low carb diet, which, you know, we all know that the Atkins diet, you can do it, but it's not very tasty and not very enjoyable. But it does work for polycystic ovarian, for PCOS patients or PCOS people. They're not patients. There's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
It's when they get overweight, that's when the metabolic syndrome happens. That's when it becomes an illness, if you like. But the actual genetic type is, you know, it's a genetic type of human. There's nothing wrong with it. But you can manage it by understanding that if you're developing the polycystic ovarian syndrome type, then actually you need to cut back on carbs. And if you do put weight on, you know, treating that with GLP-1s, with bariatric surgery does work. And
so
it will help hold it back into a more normal type. And that's a very basic view of what is actually quite a complex syndrome. But the ovaries that's not the problem. It's like a reflection of the type.